Hey, 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 my beautiful people. I just decided that I'm going to go live real quick. I'm not going to be on here long. It's Friday night. Y'all see my new hairdo? I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I haven't worn this hairstyle since probably like 2003 or something, and I love it. I don't have to fuss, no muss, no fuss, just get her done, right? I just wanted to jump on for a minute and I wanted to talk about how we sometimes sabotage our relationships. Say hello, I see y'all watching. I hope you can hear me okay. I have my mic in tonight. I just wanted to go live tonight to talk about how we sometimes sabotage our relationships and how we can work on creating a safe space for our partners. Say hello, I see y'all watching. Say hello. Um, a lot of men and women, real talk, are looking for someone who has the capacity to love them, right? And we have like this wish list. We have this list of things that we want in a partner. Some people have a list of what a person looks like, or if they 6 feet tall, or whatever the specs are, how much money they make. They have, hey Priscilla, how are you, sweetheart? Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. So, some people have these expectations, right? Or they have this list of things that they want from a partner, right? And that's okay. That's fine. However, whatever it is that you want, or you deem necessary for your relationship. But the idea, and I just wanted to go live for a little while. I'm not going to be on here long. The idea is that when we meet the person that we say that we want to be with, what we have a tendency of doing um, is we have a tendency of sabotaging the relationships that we have with a potential partner, right? Um, it's unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate. Um, because the only way to work through some of the stuff that we deal with, because in theory, we know exactly what we want in theory. In theory, we know exactly the type of relationship we want to have. And that's all good. But the problem with the theory is that you haven't actually done it yet. And so, real talk, in order to have a great relationship, there are some things that you can only work out once you meet someone that you could potentially have a good relationship with, right? And so what happens is, a lot of folks don't realize that they can meet the person of their absolute dreams. I mean, they can meet the person that is going to be their everything. And if they have not worked through some of the things that they need to work through, they could potentially destroy any hopes of having real happiness, right? And a for instance is I'm gonna use a man and then I'm gonna flip it. For instance, a man is used to a woman being aggressive. He is not used to a woman operating in her feminine energy. And so when a woman is operating in her feminine energy, she calms down, she brings it down a notch or two. And she primarily does that because she feels safe. She feels like he loves her, right? She feels like she can do that, he's not going to leave her. She trusts him. She doesn't feel like she has to check his cell phone or wonder where he is. He lets her know that she is the perfect one for him, right? If a woman gets into a relationship with a man who treats her extremely well, I'm being clear. Y'all say hello. Say hello since you're watching, right? I don't bite, at least not tonight. So he treats her extremely well. And for a woman who has always had to fight, who has always had to argue, who has always had to wonder, like where he's at, if he's talking to other women, if he's, hey Hector, I see you, if he's talking to other women, I love you, boo boo. If he is out there cheating or if he's talking to somebody else, right? Or if he's a little late home from work, or if he didn't call you at the time he usually calls you. I see Facebook user, hello. I think that Facebook changed something with StreamYard. And unless you are watching this from my Facebook page, I will not be able to see your name. Right. Facebook changed something so that I can't see who's writing to me, So my point is, there's this amazing and wonderful man that will come into a woman's life, right? He's not coming with no drama. He's not out here in these streets like that. He has found the woman that he wants to be with. And for real, a woman who has had, and we all have been in the place of always fighting, right? We always feel like, there's no one out there that knows how to love us. But to meet somebody that actually knows how to love us, it kind of blows our mind, and we like, ooh, what's wrong with you? I've never met anybody like you before. And you might not even say those words. You might call your girlfriends up and say, yo, I met this really, really nice guy, and it's almost weird. I've never met anybody who has been this attentive towards me, or who has cared for me the way that this man is caring for me. Hector, you are hilarious. All my life I had to fight. You Hector, I love you. You are a mess. You a straight mess. But seriously, so it's a lot of women that are not accustomed to somebody loving them. But I'm going to flip it, right? There are men who, if the woman is not nagging and the woman is not yelling and screaming and she's not going in about every little thing, it's weird. It's almost uncomfortable, right? Seriously, because it's not normal to us, right? I mean, we are so accustomed to fighting a battle when, and this is for men and for women, right? That you realize that, like, yo, I don't have to argue with them. I don't have to fight. It feels abnormal. It doesn't even feel real. It's like somebody pinched me. I found somebody who adores me, who loves me, who's taken the time, who cares for me genuinely and sincerely. And a lot of times, what people will do is they will do little things to sabotage the relationship because they don't know how to have hard conversations, because they don't know how to communicate their feelings, because being vulnerable is scary to them. So you tell somebody, I don't, I remember this guy specifically, a good friend of mine's, Mike Floyd. He said to me, Kim, I don't want to be vulnerable. God bless his soul. May he rest in peace. He said, I hate that feeling of vulnerability. I want to feel like that. Right. And I get that. I absolutely get it. Right. So we do these little things, these little micro things. They're not macro, they're not big, they're micro, and we display them in our behavior, and we expect for them to deal with those little microaggressions that we have. And what we tend to do, and I'm going to include myself in this because I've done it before. I've done it before several times, right? Met amazing and wonderful people, and because of what I've been through before, I allow that to destroy the real hope of me having a great relationship, right? And so, just based on that and that alone, I kind of wanted to go live to talk about that, because you can meet somebody that is amazing to you, right? But some of the things that we got to learn how to do, and I opened it now, I want to close this here conversation. Some of the things that we have to do, real talk, is learn how to have hard conversations. When somebody says something to us, don't don't get angry. Listen to hear and to understand. They may be trying to tell you something that can potentially make your relationship great, right? They're not coming down on you. They may be explaining to you why it is that a thing bothers them. So sometimes we got to sit down and have hard conversations. And usually, most and generally, what they're talking about doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with their past and some of the things that they've experienced, right? And so if you do them, even in a micro way, it'll make them nervous and they won't feel safe anymore. Right? So they may be wanting to have a hard conversation with you, and because you are who you are, you might pout about it, or you might not like it, or you might find that maybe they're being aggressive, right? And they're really not. They're just trying to explain to you sometimes some of the things that bother them, right? That don't have any real thing to do with you and who you are, right? I mean, real talk. Real talk. And the other thing is learning to hear each other out, like learning how to be a good listener. If you can learn how to be a good listener and not take offense to everything that everybody says, right, to you. You know, I used to go back to like some of my male friends that I dated. And I promise y'all, because I'm always searching and seeking to grow. And I would say, what was wrong with us? What happened between us? And a lot of times, and this is real talk, men have said to me, Kim, I didn't think you liked me, right? And if I could be very transparent, I'm always being transparent. Um, my feelings, I keep them on stealth. Like I'm like, nobody's gonna know how I feel, right? I don't say very much. I just watch people, right? Because I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. But again, that was dealing with my trauma and dealing with the fact that I don't know if I can trust them yet, right? So a lot of times I didn't show a lot of emotion. I didn't show that I even cared. I would be like, hey, what's up? And I would talk to them like I would talk to everybody else, even when I really dug them. Right. And I really thought that they was really cool and maybe we might go out, maybe, that kind of thing. I didn't show them any real, like I really cared. Right. And so people are left wondering if I even like them. Right. And so that means that they were unsure. And I know that that's tied to me not wanting to be vulnerable, right? To me not wanting to lay myself out for anybody. Hey, Dre, thank you. You like my little nappy twist? I love it. I love it. I don't have to worry about doing my hair and curling all summer and all that crap, right? I could just do this and keep it moving. So, um, real talk though, if people don't feel like they matter to you, they're gonna stop pursuing you. And I'm not talking about chasing you. I'm just simply talking about pursuing you, right? And so when I think about that, I had to go back and revisit because it wasn't just one person that said that to me. I went back and talked to some guys that I just dated that we became really cool and we became friends. Hey, boo, I see you, Rob Boogie. That's my brother. I love you. Um, yeah, so I went back and I asked them. And they were telling me, Kim, I didn't even think you liked me. I said, no, I liked you a lot. You know, I just wasn't very good at displaying my feelings because when I display my feelings and they did something, I would automatically like pull back, right? And so, in a real way, I was, by not allowing myself to be vulnerable, I was really sabotaging my relationships. And I'm just being honest because that's what we do. And I work on that part of myself all of the time because the truth is, I have thuggish tendencies and thugs don't show feelings or emotions. Like if I'm keeping it real, right? We don't walk around here wearing our heart on our sleeve for somebody to snatch it off for us. We don't do that, right? And I'm not trying to be funny. Even as a woman, men didn't know that I liked them because I wouldn't kiss them. I wouldn't hold their hand. I'll just hang out with them. Right. And I said, let's be friends. Let's be friends. And they'd be like, oh no, the friend zone. You know what I'm saying? But friendship to me means so much, right? So when you're having a hard conversation with somebody, right? When things, if you don't know how to have a hard conversation, chances are you're going to sabotage your relationship. Because if any of them would have asked me, Kim, like, do you really like me? Or I don't know how they would frame that. I'm not a man, right? They would have found out that I liked them a lot, but I was afraid, right? And the truth is that if they didn't make me feel safe, there was no way that they were going to get close to me. So while it is a defense mechanism and I get it, being vulnerable and having hard conversations and real true intimacy and close talk is how you get to the place of building a great relationship, right? And then the other part is learning each other's process. It is extremely important to understand that everybody does not process like you. Some people need a minute to think. They don't have a quick comeback for the questions that you ask. It doesn't mean that they're lying. It doesn't mean that they don't care about you. They are going through their own process. They weren't raised like you. Everybody wasn't raised in a hellish life with dysfunctional parents and or a dysfunctional life, right? So everybody doesn't process the same. And you've got to afford your partner a place, a safe space to be able to process without jumping down their throat when they don't do the things that you think they should do in the way that you think they should do them, right? I will listen to the replay. I don't know who that is. All I see is Facebook user. That's all I see, right? Um, because the other thing that I think that is extremely important is sometimes because people do not process in the same way that you process, you believe that they're struggling or it becomes a struggle, a power struggle, um, because they do things differently than you do them. And an example of that is um, you're trying to have a deep conversation, and they're saying, like, right now, I can't do this, right? I'm not operating on the level where I can handle the conversation that you're trying. Hey, Reg, I see you, brother. I see you, little brother. How are you? I love you. Um, when there's a safe space, right? When you create a safe space, you have to also, in doing creating the safe space, you have to also learn how another person goes through their process, how they handle things, how they deal with things. And if it's somebody that you want to be in a serious relationship with, then you have got to kind of take the bull by the horns. You kind of got to allow them their personal space in order for your relationship to work. And remember, once again, that everybody doesn't process the way that you do. They just don't. They just don't. And be fair. And here's the other thing, we always want somebody to treat us like gold. But when it comes down to us giving that same thing out to other people, we don't do that, right? It's like, I expect you to do everything for me, and I only want to stick a toe into this relationship. I don't want to put 10 toes down and be fully engaged, right? I don't want to be fully engaged because of my fear, right? And that's how we end up sabotaging our relationships. And most of it is just learning one another. Most of it is just learning one another. You can meet the most incredible and amazing person ever. And if you're not ready to receive them, if you haven't worked through some of this stuff, if you have not done the introspection, if you don't have clarity about what it is that you really want, I promise you, you end up sabotaging the relationship. When what you really know is that I want somebody good in my life. I want somebody who has the capacity to love me. And here's the thing, if you don't show them how to love you, then you're never going to get the love that you want. Right? Because if you want to only stick a big toe in, but you expect somebody else to come in fully for you, and you letting your fear guide you, you can't win like that. You cannot win. And that's just real talk. So here I am, like, thinking about this self sabotaging thing. And boy, have I stuck my foot in it a number of times. And the reality is that I want love. I want somebody who has the capacity to love me. What does that mean, Kim? That means you got to stop being afraid. That means you have to put your all into it. I have to also create a safe space for those that I want to be in my life, right? It can't just be, I need you to give me everything, and I'm only going to stick in one of my big toes. It don't work like that. So I just wanted to jump on real quick. And I wanted to say that because I know a lot of people do the same thing, right? We find little things. And instead of having a discussion and instead of, setting the tone for our relationships, we sometimes just walk away and be like, I ain't doing this. And sometimes all you need to do is have a conversation. And it might hurt a little bit, but the conversation is necessary. Do you know that your relationship will not and cannot grow if you don't talk to one another? If you don't tell a person what you need, if you're not upfront, if you're not honest, if you're not being authentic, check this out. Your silence, and I've said this several times before, your silence in any relationship is violence. I don't know how you expect your relationship to grow if you don't speak your truth, if you don't tell a person how to treat you, what your expectations are in that relationship. You literally dooming your relationship when you don't speak your truth, when you're not honest about who you are and what you want and what you need. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, don't tell them what you need, because if you tell them what you need, then they're just going to try to do that. They're just going to try to do that and to win your affection, right? Okay, I heard that. I heard that. But here's the deal, if you don't tell them what you need and you're looking for something serious, the only thing you're going to do is 6 months in, you haven't said a word. You're going to have these expectations that things are supposed to be different. And that is not who they are. That is not what they can do or what they can produce for you. And I'm being honest. Like, you have to come into the relationship being authentic and you got to speak your truth. And if you don't do that, your relationship is doomed to fail. Speak your truth. Be honest and be authentic. That's the only way that you are going to win. Real talk. Listen, I love y'all like fried chicken. I promise y'all I do. I want us to win in relationships moving forward. And that's going to require us to stop sabotaging our relationships, to communicate what it is that our needs are, and to be open and honest with our partners, and learn to stop walking away, stop running, and have the hard conversations that you need to have. And that's real talk. I love y'all. Y'all have an awesome and amazing day, evening, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend. I hope y'all like my little nappy twist because I sure do like it. Okay, okay now. Y'all have a blessed night. I see you, Tal. I love you, sis. That my boo boo. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed and have a good one. Good night.